piano no mori begins with the protagonist Kai, living in the red light district. He sneaks at night to play the piano in forest. Shuhei, the son of a concert pianist, joins Kai at Moriwaki Elementary School. Shuhei soon becomes the target of the bullies in his class and is later forced to take part in a dare to play the mysterious piano in the forest. But Kai seems to be the only one capable of producing sound from the piano, which everyone thought was broken. Kai then invites Shuhei to his home and soon after they head out to Shuhei's place. Kai tries to play Shuhei's piano but ends up producing a terrible sound. Shuhei's mother then talks about Argino, Kai's music teacher. Argino was a former master pianist, admired by all generations for his talent. However, Argino got into a car accident in his prime, losing his hands and fiancée. Argino inquires Shuhei about Kai and learns that Kai plays the piano in the forest every night. Argino is baffled. Because the piano belonged to him in the past, and he threw it out after his accident. Curious, Argino heads out to the forest and finds Kai playing the piano he threw out. He is overjoyed and extends Kai's hand, saying he is the chosen one. Although Kai is initially receptive to improving his piano playing technique, Shuhei and Argino try to persuade him to enroll in formal piano lessons. At first, he denies the thought of piano classes because he is flat out broke. However, he finally gives in after hearing Argino perform a Chopin piece that he cannot play himself. We then see Argino and Kai make a deal where Kai must not give up the piano until he learns how to play a regular piano. The next day, Kai starts piano lessons after his school. For his first lesson, he must practice finger exercises while playing the same melody. At the end of the session, Argino tells him not to play the piano in the forest unless he wants to practice the same exercises for the rest of his life. Kai continues to attend lessons every day, still practicing the finger movements. Until one day, Argino tells him to play a Mozart piece, recalling his favorite spot on the planet. Kai then begins to play. He hears his own sound as he imagines himself playing the piano in the wilderness. Later, Kai brilliantly performs Chopin's tune for Argino, who then mentions that Kai has completed his piano training. Kai asks Argino what he wants him to do now that their agreement has come to an end. So, Argino encourages Kai to enter the forthcoming Japan Student Piano Championship. The junior music competition is just getting started. We find Kai asleep on top of the piano in the wilderness. He swears to give it his all in this competition. Kai wants the aid of Argino. He asks him for assistance. Argino responds by playing a tape of himself performing Mozart's Piano Sonata, K280. For the tournament, competitors must play the piece flawlessly, and only a few applicants will advance to the nationals. Argino then tells Kai to play his version of the K280, but, in order to accomplish it, he must confront his biggest foe, himself. For the next few days, Kai vigorously practices passing each moment playing the piano in his head. However, even on the morning of the competition, he still had not made the K280 his own. Rei, his mother, follows him as he leaves his house. They catch a cab together. Rei is pleased when Kai tells her about the competition. She affectionately cleans off his soiled clothing. Everyone appears to be in a depressed mood as they arrive. Everyone is afraid that Shuhei will compete with them. We then meet Takako, another pianist at the competition. Takako whines about Shuhei's participation and how he has damaged her prospects of attending nationals. However, Kai disapproves, and discovers that the major cause of her outburst is stage fright. Kai comforts Takako while she is sobbing and helps her overcome her anxieties. Takako is up next. Her stage fright begins to manifest. Her legs are shaky as she approaches the stage, but she remembers Kai's suggestion to utilize her imagination. She then relaxes by picturing her pet dog Wendy on top of the piano. She performed admirably and overcame stage fright. We then follow the other participants as they demonstrate their abilities, and it finally gets to Kai's turn. Kai sits down and dazzles the audience with how well he plays. In the middle of the performance, Kai achieves a revelation and stops abruptly. He throws away his shoes and his tie and starts playing his version of the K280. At the end of the performance, the entire crowd is moved to tears. Later, the results of the participants qualifying for nationals are out. However, Kai does not make it, because he went against the rules of the competition. Kai then heads out into the rain, feeling depressed for not getting to play Chopin in the finals. He soon starts experiencing difficulties with the piano because of his depression. However, the show must go on. Shuhei and Kai each need to follow their musical passions and create something they can be proud of. Then we see Shuhei moving back to Tokyo, so Kai makes him promise to be the #1 pianist in Japan. Later, in the semi-finals of the junior music competition, amazed by Kai's performance, the other participants try to incorporate their own styles into the Chopin waltz. Unfortunately, this disqualifies most of them. Takako also emulates Kai's take on the piano. She plays her version of the minute waltz, moving the crowd. During a stormy night, lightning strikes the piano in the forest, and it goes up in flames. Kai tries to do everything he can to save it, but to no avail. Argino then advises Kai that the piano in the forest isn't dead but still lives on in Kai, as long as he continues to play the piano. A few days later, Kai joins Ben, a delivery truck driver, as he makes his deliveries. They stop at a town square where there is a transparent piano. Intrigued by it, Kai starts to play the piano and shocks everyone. As he continues, Kai realizes that he wants to be a professional pianist. But he's oblivious that Ben has already left. Afterwards, he heads to Argino's house and asks him to be his teacher again to help him achieve his dreams. Time passes. Kai and Shuhei are now older teenagers. Both have been honing their piano talents in their own distinct ways. While Shuhei crossed the world in quest of his sound, Kai remained in Japan. Regardless of how far Shuhei traveled, Kai always appeared to be a few steps ahead. Shuhei returns to Japan to locate Kai and learn how to break through the plateau he has reached as a pianist. Now Shuhei must discover the essence of his music, so he searches for Kai in his hometown of Morinohata. Fortunately, he meets Ben, who drives him to Kai's workplace. When Shuhei is dropped in a bar, he discovers Maria playing the same piano piece Kai plays. Soon we learn that Maria is actually Kai disguised as a woman in order to keep his workplace a secret from the university. Kai then takes Shuhei to his house. The next day, Shuhei meets with Daiki, a young pupil of Kai. Shuhei receives assistance from Daiki in overcoming his present aversion to playing the piano. Kai later entertains Shuhei, who vows to surpass Kai someday. Sometime after Shuhei's trip to Japan, Kai is now ready to enter the world of competitive piano playing once more. So he decides to leave his work and devote himself entirely to the piano. Smitten by his performance at the club, one man is fascinated by finding him and seeing him perform. He eventually tracks Kai to Kiriyama Music, Kai's school. Meanwhile, Shiba, Takako's piano teacher, also learns about Kai's whereabouts. He takes Takako to a concert and surprises her with Kai's performance. Takako then gets overjoyed to see Kai and makes a commitment not to let the illness of her hands keep her from practicing the piano. Argino and his old colleagues agree to write a recommendation letter for Kai to attend the International Chopin Piano Competition. Shuhei catches wind of this information and decides to undergo rigorous training to compete with Kai. Every 5 years, the competition takes place in Warsaw. There, pianists compete from all over the world to prove their skills and gain fame. Kai comes 10 days early to the pre-qualifiers, where over 300 competitors will eventually be reduced to only 80. At the Chopin competition pre-qualifiers, Shuhei gives his customary performance. Kai panics. He feels stage fear for the first time in his life and almost loses the competition. But seeing Shuhei in the audience calms him. He turns it around and performs well. Meanwhile, as Argino departs to see Kai, Ray gives him the fragment of the ancient forest piano, meant to be Kai's good luck charm. The preliminary rounds of the Chopin competition are currently on their first day. From the audience, Kai observes pianists from all over the world perform, but one in particular, Wei Pang, a Chinese pianist who traveled to Poland to study. His piano playing has an uncanny resemblance to Argino's before his injury. However, his style is angrier and sadder, a testament to what Wei Pang endured as a child. The next performer is Adamski, also a pianist from Poland. He is frequently referred to as Poland's noble child. His playing style completely shocks Kai. Shuhei takes the stage next. His exquisite playing dazzles the spectators. How far his childhood friend has come astounded even Kai. In the meantime, Kai gets to know one of Poland's young contenders during his downtime. Lech, frequently referred to as Poland's new star. Lech instead seems sickly most of the time, and he says this is why he is performing on the last day of the competition. The final day arrives, and Lech takes to the stage. Lech's performance moves the judges and is dubbed the new wind of Poland. Finally, Kai gets to play. He enters the stage, prepared to offer everything he has. And as soon as he begins, it feels as though a wind gust carries everyone in the room. His performance transports the audience to the piano's woodland. They can relate to the pain and sorrow he's endured in life. The crowd then gets captivated by Kai's performance and pays close attention to every note he plays. At the end of his performance, the crowd rises to applaud him while the judges are in awe of the sheer genius they have witnessed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.